Hi, my name is Ben Shao, and I'm an EcoWash Division Manager out of Madison, Wisconsin. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to prep and stain a deck. The first step to any staining project is always going to be the prep work, which should take place 1 to 2 days before you plan to start staining. For the most part, this will just be sweeping leaves and debris off of the deck and then pressure washing it with a surface cleaner. But in some cases, if the wood on the deck is warped or splintering, you'll have to treat the wood with an oxalic acid. For this treatment, we always use Sherwin-Williams Revive. This is equipment you will need for the Revive treatment. Start by filling up a pump sprayer from your supply unit with the Sherwin-Williams Revive treatment. Then carefully spray the Revive treatment onto the deck and scrub it in with a broom or brush. It's very important that you don't let the Revive treatment dry onto the wood, so for this portion of the prep work, it's best to work in small patches. After letting the Revive treatment sit for 5 to 10 minutes on the deck, pressure wash the wood and move on to the next section. Once you finish the prep work, the deck should already be in noticeably better condition, with the gray delaminated layer cleaned off and consistent texture throughout the deck surface. For cleaning the deck's railings and other hard-to-reach surfaces, use a white tip on the pressure washing wand and always leave 8 to 10 inches of space between the wand and the wood. Make sure to also back up as you move along the deck so you don't damage it. It's also important to note that all decks are different and they all will have differing needs. Not all of them are going to turn out as clean as the one I'm showing you now, and not all of them should. This especially goes for decks that have an existing coat of stain on them. When prepping a deck, your goal is not perfection. Our prep work is only meant to wash off the gray delaminated layer on top and clean out any dirt or debris that may have built up in the wood throughout the years. The day of staining, you should always keep an eye on the weather, as if there's rain forecasted, you may not be able to proceed. When you're on the job site, make sure to broom off any remaining debris on the deck and tape off areas of the house close to where you'll be staining. If you're using a paint sprayer on a fence or on railings, this is especially important, and you should also use a spray shield. For the actual staining, on a deck floor, you should use a wide brush with a pole on the end. I'm not using one in the video, but there are poles in each of your supply units, so please use them as they'll make the whole process much quicker and more efficient. For the railings, in some cases you'll be able to use a sprayer, but in cases where that's not possible, use a thinner brush. If you are doing a one-coat project and there's an existing coat of stain on the deck, make sure that the stain you're putting on is the same color or a lower transparency. Your flexibility with this will vary from customer to customer, but as a general rule of thumb, be cautious of solid stains. As once it's put on a deck, the customer won't be able to transition to a lower transparency in the future, and it's important that you let your customer know this, as it will come out patchy in appearance like the image I'm showing you now. When using a paint sprayer on fences, be very careful about overspray. Work in sections and make sure to start spraying a little below or above where the fence begins to make sure you're getting an even and consistent coat. Working with a paint sprayer can get very messy, so be aware of your surroundings and prevent messes before they happen. For cleanup, survey the entire job site, removing all painter's tape and cleaning up any areas of overspray. If there's any stain left over from the project, leave it with the customer. It's also extremely important to make sure that your brushes are cleaned. Generally, you should clean them up as you work, soaking any brushes that aren't in use in a bucket of water and then combing them out once you finish. If you're having a team on a staining project where you won't be present, make sure you leave them detailed plans for how the project is to proceed. Also, make sure that when you train your team, that they understand the quality of work that is expected of them. Also, when you are selling staining projects, if the client is willing to pay for one coat, try to upsell them on the 2-coat. If they're still hesitant, then try to push them to go for 2 coats on the floor and 1 coat on the railings. Explain that this is extremely popular with many of our clients given its cost-effective nature and the fact that the floor wears a lot quicker than the railings do since it's a flat surface and is exposed to more weathering.